Please take Julie's hands, palms up, so you may see the gift they are to you. These are the hands of your best friend, smooth, young, and carefree, that are holding yours on your wedding day, as she promises to love you all the days of her life. Now join hands together. The love already shared by your hearts has been strengthened by the vows you have taken. You will be bound by your love as you are bound by your clasped hands, from now until the end of your days. These are the hands that will passionately love you and cherish you through the years, and with the slightest touch will comfort you like no other. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as you build your future together. These are the hands that will hold you whenever illness, fear, or grief may find you. These are the hands that will give you strength when you need it. These are the hands that will tenderly hold your children. These are the hands that even when wrinkled and aged will still be reaching for yours. May they always reach out with love, gentleness, and respect. May they build a loving relationship that lasts a lifetime. May they always be held by one another. And now, Stephen, cousin of the bride, is going to share a reading.
Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like volcanoes and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your root was so entwined together that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. This is what love is. Love is not breathlessness, it is not excitement, it is not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. This is just being in love, which any fool can do. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away, and this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Those that truly love have roots that grow towards each other underground, and when all the pretty blossoms have fallen from their branches, they find that they are one tree, and not two.
Julie and Matt, what a blessing and privilege it is for me to stand here with both of you on this special day. I wanted to take a few moments and address you both directly. Just us three, no one else. Last month, my wife Robin and I celebrated our 13th wedding anniversary. I've learned a lot about marriage in these 13 years, much of which we talked about at pre-marriage counseling. Today I want to remind you both of a couple things that I've learned along the way. The first thing is make honest communication. Make it a priority. I emphasize honest. You will get nowhere fast if you are not honest with one another about how you are feeling and what's going on in your day-to-day. It can be scary sometimes to share with total honesty, but ultimately it's the only way that you will continue to grow and deepen the love you have for one another. I know you both work very hard at your jobs, and after a long day, it sometimes can be hard to put energy into communicating honestly. Marriage doesn't get better with just time. It takes time and hard work. And one thing you will have to continually work on is healthy, honest communication. Now, Matt, for guys, this sometimes doesn't come as naturally for us. I remember not too long ago, Robin coming home from a hard day at work, and it was clear she wanted to vent. Well, I was eager to listen to her about everything that happened to her, and watch the Red Sox game. Bad idea. Very difficult to do both things at once. In fact, I don't recommend it, especially for sharing. I've now learned how important it is for her to be able to come home and have my undivided attention with no distractions. However, the playoffs are on, which doesn't look too good this year. For the Red Sox, anyway. Go Pats. She'll wait sometimes to the end of the game. It's a give and take. Communicate honestly in love. Listen to what the other is saying. And if necessary, be willing to make the changes for your own sake and for the sake of your marriage. The second piece of advice I want to give you is get to know each other. After the first 6 years or so of mainly coasting through our marriage, Robin and I both began to actually work on the relationship. We began to know each other in much more intimate ways. And what I'm talking about is emotionally getting to know each other. What is it about your partner that makes him tick? What makes him feel loved? Gary Chapman wrote a book for couples called The 5 Love Languages. I highly recommend it. He suggests, and I agree, that each one of us is wired differently, and each of us feel love in different ways. He suggests there are 5 major ways that humans can express love to one another. First one, words of affirmation, saying nice things to one another, meaningful things to one another. The second is quality time, spending time together, interacting, having fun. The third is receiving gifts, sacrificially buying or making something for one another. The fourth is acts of service, vacuuming, doing the dishes, or anything else that can help ease the burden of your partner. And lastly, physical touch, not just in the bedroom, but holding hands, hugs, tender touches on the arm and on the face. Robin and I began to figure these things out through honest communication, and we began to be proactive about expressing the love we have for one another in a meaningful way. For me, I began to understand that one of the things that made Robin feel loved would be when I would help out around the house, acts of service. She works so hard in her job at the high school and puts in long hours and comes home from a long day. She wants to get the house in order before she can even sit down. I don't get this. She'll have to put clothes in the laundry, do the dishes, and clean off the table, and that's just not me. I'm good with outdoor activities, or chores, I should say. I'll happily mow 4 acres of grass before I would even think about taking 10 minutes to do the dishes. I just don't know what it is. Anyways, I began to observe that some days when she came home, she would feel overwhelmed and then have to do all these things. Then I had this brilliant idea. Remember, it took 6 years to figure this out. I decided that I would do all of these things before she got home from work. Well, needless to say, when she got home, she was in shock. And she felt truly loved by me. Seems like a simple thing, but that's one way I can show my love to her. For Robin, she's learned that words of affirmation are crucial for me. To know that she is for me, that she notices the things I do and is proud of me and makes me feel loved. I could sometimes care less about what anyone else thinks, but her opinion is so important to me. After a talk or a presentation, I'll always check in with her. How'd I do? So important that I know she loves me, and she does. And she always makes it a point to tell me. When you begin to truly know each other and what makes each other tick, your marriage will soar to new levels of love and intimacy. Remember the verse in Philippians. The Apostle Paul writes, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Make sure you go to God for help in times of crisis and in need, but also in times when things are going well, and thank Him. He wants to be part of your marriage. He designed it. Communicate honestly with each other, and lastly, always